Good evening, everyone that is joining me. There's a couple of lives going on, so I wasn't even sure I was gonna go live. I am 1 week post op, which is why I wasn't live last week. Last Wednesday, I got I don't know if you can hear her. She's yelling. My Nix, my cat. Anyway, last week I had knee surgery. I had two tears in my meniscus and a flipped fragment. They arthroscopically went in and fixed it, but I could not do a live show. So here I am. I just wanted to kind of come on and in a couple of weeks, Adam Kimball will be joining me, which I'm excited about because I've been trying to get him to come on for a while now, and he's finally like, "Let's do it, let's do it." I love his energy. I love everything he does. So I'm excited to have him on. Um, I'm telling you, you know, it's getting harder and harder to like the paranormal field's just become so saturated with everything. It's become saturated with paracons, it's become saturated with um event companies, it's become saturated with podcasts and streaming stuff, and it's become saturated with so much. I've been doing this for 10 years. 10 years. And I noticed that when COVID happened, a lot more people started doing podcasts and these live videos and stuff like that. And, you know, um, which is great. I mean, I love watching a lot of the YouTubers and, I love watching stuff like that. But it's just become so saturated. I know I've said this before on my shows, but I've struggled a little bit with just keep going. You know what I mean? Like I feel like after 10 years, you know, uh, I'm just like I love doing it, and I love having these chats with y'all, and I love having guests on, and I love having a back and forth and everything. Like I love doing this. It just I don't know. I don't know if it's like what's gone down in the community that has kind of dwindled that flame a little bit, or I'm getting older and, all I want to do is just ghost hunt and have fun. You know what I mean? Type of a thing. I don't know what it is. Um, but I have met a lot of awesome people along the way, and I'm thankful for that. Anyway, so I want to talk about a movie I recently watched um, because it was a little confusing. And if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, I would say shut it off right now because I am going to talk about it. But if you have seen it, I would love to know your thoughts. So I watched the movie Obsession. I don't know if anybody has seen this movie. Um, but again, um, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about it. So if you want to see it, then either mute me or come back later because I want to talk about this. Um, is a different movie. Um, and first of all, I have to say I don't know if this was necessarily because I generally tend to like the movies that are deal with possession, like The Right with Anthony Hopkins, the Dybbuk box one. I forget what the name of the movie is called. The other one, Deliver Us from Evil, the cop, the New York City cop. The Last Exorcism of Emily Rose, like um, the Pope's Exorcist. Like I love movies like that, right? I can't get into the horror, gory stuff. I love ghosty movies like, White Noise and, you know, uh, What Lies Beneath, The Others, stuff like that. I love those kind of movies. So this movie Obsession, hi. This movie Obsession was kind of, again, spoiler alert for anybody that's hopping on. I'm going to be talking about the movie Obsession. So if you haven't seen it and you want to, then don't listen. um, So I'm watching this movie and I'm kind of confused as to what was going on. Like I don't know if she was possessed or if this was like a hex or if it was, you know, just a mean genie in a bottle that granted this wish. And because it's crazy, like how she was acting was very possessed, like it wasn't, oh my god, you're thinking you're going to be watching this movie where he wishes that he loves her more than anything in the world, and like you're like thinking you're going to watch this movie and it's going to be like just somebody that's like stalkerish behavior but still kind of human, but like nothing she did was human. She had like superpowers. And like, hey Chris, thanks for joining me. I know Stevie's live, you don't have to stay, I know. um Love you, girl, for stopping in. But like she possessed like human strength. She possessed like she had like all these things that would fall under the possession type whatever. But then it was a curse. So that kind of confused me. Like I was like, where are they going with this? Is she possessed? Because it was like possessed characteristics, like she was possessed by something. But then once the wish was broken, she just snapped out of it. And so like it was very it was just an odd movie. It was very different. I liked that the plot was different than any other movie that has been out recently, I'll tell you that. But the ending drove me insane. There was no closure. I don't know what happened. What We don't know what happened. Hey Roger, how are you? Um it was a crazy movie. Like I would say watch it if you can. Um, and I don't know, maybe when after you watch it, just inbox me and let me know your thoughts because it was definitely a strange movie. Um, One that I have not seen like that recently. I want a movie to come out that's like a really good, well done, realistic ghosty movie. Like did anybody ever see Dragonfly with Kevin Costner? I thought that was so good. That was so well done. Those movies back in the day, like it's almost like music. Like they don't make them like they used to. Like I always resort to the old school movies because those ones are like so good. Like my all time favorite, scariest movie I've ever seen, The Entity, with Barbara Hershey. That movie was just the scariest movie ever. And and I feel like The Omen might have scared me too, but I don't remember enough of it to put it classified as the most scariest movie. Um, but which one, Dana? Hi, Dana. One of my peaches. But So I always go back to the old school movies because the old school movies are just so good. You have Dragonfly, you have What Lies Beneath, you have The Others, The Entity. I mean, even Ghostbusters was like awesome. Like they just don't make movies like they used to. And again, I love the possession movies, but I do like the older ones. Except the Pope's Exorcist was really good. So if you didn't see it, you should see it. It's really good. Oh, Dragonfly, yeah. Amazing movie. Loved it. To me, that is things like that movie is when I say realistic, those are things that like people actually like either experience or have experienced or can experience. Like you've heard of these things happening and they didn't far fetch it. It was amazing how it all came together in the end. Like it was such a good movie. It was such a good movie. And Kevin Costner was awesome in it. You know, I still to this day, Dana, since you know this movie, you're familiar with this, you know how every time the wife would walk in, the bird would go, "Honey, I'm home." I literally say that when I walk in the door, and I say it just like the bird. I mean, that movie, it's just one of those movies that's left an impression. Like I love that movie so much. Um, White Noise with what's his Keaton is his Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton, that movie White Noise was such a good one. If you've never seen that, check that movie out because that movie was really good. I feel like I repeat this a lot. You guys probably, if whoever watches my show, probably could probably say all the movies that I love. Hmm. Such a I mean, they really are. I mean, those movies are so good. Like I would literally like during a snowstorm, I would just watch all those movies, all those old school. The Others was fantastic. The Others was done so well, and you sit there and you go, wow. Even Beetlejuice was great. It wasn't scary. It was fun and it was like it was awesome. But like the others had me thinking like, wow, what if that's really what it's like? You know, like it's just crazy to see it from the other side. And you don't know you're seeing it from the other side until the very end. Like I was shocked. There were some people like, oh, I knew what was going on, but I did not know until the end. And the same thing with Sixth Sense. I had no idea. I'm one of those people that if a movie has me drawn in, I'm not sitting there thinking about, oh, what's going to happen and who's doing this and I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm just like watching it. So, like, Sixth Sense even like shocked me at the very like I was like blown away. Also, I just want to say, being a 37-year and going New Kids on the Block fan, like diehard New Kids on the Block fan, in Sixth Sense, I did not know that was Donnie Wahlberg. I should know this. Like I can smell them all the way in New Jersey when they're in Boston or they're in Vegas. Like I know them, and I at the very end when I saw that that was Donnie Wahlberg, I was like, "What?" So, uh, I was that movie was just amazing for me. My favorite show was The Mentalist. You know, I never saw that. I've heard a lot of good things about it, never saw it. I never saw The Mentalist, but I will put that on my list. So thank you. Thank you for that. Um So yeah, I miss all those movies. Again, I'm not into the gore. I can do the possession ones, I can do ghosty ones. I love vampire movies also. So like the Blades, if you remember the Blades, the Blade 1, 2, and 3, and uh, what was the one? I always get it confused with another one, but it's like 48 Days of Night or 40 Days of Night. That I feel like that one was the vampire one that I'm talking about. 40 Days of Night, maybe. Was that vampire-ish? Apocalypse. Apocalypse scares me because I'm like, what if that really happens? All those apocalypse movies and stuff. True Blood. Now, I unfortunately only got to watch the first season of True Blood because then I lost HBO and I never got to watch any of the other ones, but True Blood was good. I Yes, I agree. That was good. True Blood was very good. And like they don't make these the stuff like they used to. They just don't. Again, it's like music, and I think Dana would agree with me with that as well. It's like music. They just don't like nothing because everything is so CGI and I don't know. I mean, even when you watch like the movies that were like, let's take The Entity for example. That was what 78, but you watch it now, it's not like it's cheesy. You know what I mean? Like you don't watch it and you go, oh my gosh, like the graphics and the CGI and like this and that is stupid. Like it's still a really good scary movie. Scary. Um I do want to say there's trauma triggers in there, which is probably why it's so scary for me. But there are trauma triggers in there. But it's a really crazy movie, and it's based on true. It's based on a woman's true life, but what was really going on, we don't know because the wrong people were involved with helping her. You know what I mean? So um, it could have been definitely. I had Kenny Biddle and Ben Radford on to talk about that, the entity, and it was a really good show, and they gave a lot of insight into what went down with the whole Doris Bithers case, and how she was just um, she was just disregarded mentally and emotionally. They were just looking for money. They were just looking for money and a book deals and stuff, and it's a shame. Um, oh, I'm just gonna run. I mean, I watched The Walking Dead for I don't know, the first like 7 seasons, I think I watched it. I don't even know. I watched it for like a long time. And then it became one of them shows where you didn't have to watch really. You could just click back on it at any time and you'd be like you could get caught up. And then I just lost interest in it. And but it was good. It was good. Um, when Negan showed up, that was conflicting because first of all, I think he's so hot, and then but he was such a dick, and he was so evil, and I was like so torn by that, but whole scenario. But um, zombies are the least of our problems. I agree with you there, Keith. I agree with you. It's so true. Oh, I don't know what I would do. Oh my gosh. Like if I had a choice, I would definitely want to do the safe route, and I would definitely want to say that I'd rather deal with ghosts than anything I just mentioned. I don't want to deal with any type of possession stuff. I don't want to deal with any vampires, and I definitely don't want to deal with any zombies. I would rather, live in a haunted house, with ghosties that are not too mean. So I definitely would prefer that. So 2 weeks ago, I was talking about deja vu, and I was talking about deja vu and I forget what the hell was the other thing? Deja vu and this is really bad. Hold on. This was bad, but let me see. It was 2 weeks ago. Deja vu and premonitions. Duh. Okay. Deja vu and premonitions. And I started to talk, and as I was talking, I in my head, now I don't know if this has been said by anybody else, but in my head I've never heard anybody talk about it, but I started to talk about, like could deja vu be a an occurrence from dreams that we have that we don't remember? And if we are having these dreams of stuff that's to come and to happen, we have that deja vu. Like, is it still deja vu? Is that because us as humans, we have to label everything, and but or is it a premonition, right? And um, I really would love to have somebody on to talk about that, because like I've thought about that ever since. I'm like, you know, people look at deja vu as something, like, whether it be related to a parallel universe, or oh, it's a psychic type of a thing, or this and that. But what if it is just our minds, like, things that happen when we're sleeping, and or similar scenarios happen while we're sleeping, and then when something happens, we're like, oh, you know I feel like I've had this before. This has happened before. So subconsciously, is it like part of our dream that we just forget about? And then when something happens similar, we're like, wait a minute, this has happened before. Let me see. It's known that our nervous system react before stressful events. Hey, Kenny, I was just talking about you. Why do you always pop up when I'm talking about you? You're so psychic. Why are you denying it every time I say your name? There's Bidler. I swear. I was talking about when I had you and Ben on, and we were talking about Entity, because I was talking about the movie. Oh, like I always bring up the movie, but I was saying how they did her such a disservice, and I love that show that I did with you guys. Um, but it's really sad to learn, like what they did and didn't do for her, for sure. And then I was just talking about um, deja vu and premonitions, and thinking, like, is this something that we dream about, but we forget that we dream about stuff? And then when something happens, could it be, you know, um, that our mind is remembering, out of the subconscious, remembering a dream we might have had, but it's similar to what's happening in real life. So, yeah, if that made any sense. But um, so I did my ADHD is off the charts. I did start off by talking about movies, and of course, all the movies I love are really old. I can't get into the new movies. I did try recently getting into the movie Obsession. I did watch it. My husband watched it. I don't know how he made it through it, but yeah, definitely odd. So I really don't know of any other movies out there that really are. I did see that there's supposed to be working on, which I'm not going to watch, and I'm not going to see it, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it, but a prequel to the Conjuring movies, where it shows Ed and Lorraine as teenagers, I guess, and how it worked up to where they got to with the first Conjuring, I guess. And it's called The Communion, or The First Communion. I don't know. It sounds like it's going to be not good. um, let's see. Keep the saying, may now and in the future, as each breath amplifies your mind's abilities to trigger your deepest focus and clarity more with every healing breath. Yes and yes. Thank you. So yeah, I saw that, and there's a lot of I haven't really been paying attention to much in the paranormal community side of things. I've been more um watching a lot of the debunkers. Um I find myself watching their YouTube videos, like The Shape and Kenny and Beardo, and um Stevie from Truth or Demons, and Florio, Phantom Files, and Ladies Fright. She's cute. You gotta check her out. But I've been watching more of the debunking channels. Hey, Doug. Doug's been on my show. He does some pretty cool. He does Ghostbuster um, cosplay. I guess is cosplay the right word to use? I don't want to say the wrong thing. But he goes to events, and they look really good in their uniforms, proton packs and all. My video on the Sally House was just posted today. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check it out. Um, and Kenny. My gosh, I watch Kenny. And speaking of ladies, right? Joan, I just gave you a shout out. Yeah. So I've been watching more of the debunkers. I mean, I've been following more of the debunking community, um, and that's even getting a little bit, a little dramified and a lot. But people are. I just want to watch like debunking videos and stuff, and fun videos or travel videos like Destination Spooky. He's got a great channel. Okay, so Doug is saying, let's see. Doug is saying yes, cosplay and raising money for charity. That's awesome. Ladies Fright, please go check her out. I love her channel. She's so cute. She's funny too. I love her. But yeah, so I like watching like just debunking stuff, fun stuff. Like Ladies Fright has fun stuff on her channel. And Stevie, I love watching Stevie's channel because she's, focuses on like what she's here to do. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't go off on these tangents of like hating everybody and drama and all that stuff. They have their channels and they do their stuff, and that's what I like. I mean, there's so much else going on in the world. Like this is supposed to be our escape, right? Like our niche is supposed to be our escape, like and what we love to do, like the paranormal, the debunking, and I combine the two. I like watching videos where I learn things from. Yes, I agree with you. I love learning. Um, like from special effects artists to woodworking tutorials. Yes, I agree with you. I also like true crime stuff. I've been watching so everybody knows the Mackenzie Shirilla thing. I've been ever since the Netflix documentary, which out of all the documentaries I have watched, I'd have to say the Netflix one is my least favorite, shockingly, because Netflix usually does a good job, but they did an okay job with it if you haven't watched any of the other ones. But when you watch some of the other ones have so much more information and they get so much into it. But my point of that was Dominic Russo's sister started a podcast called The Big Sister Unhinged. And if you are members only with that, if you suffer from like grief, of losing a loved one, they have, and her members only, they do have like grief stuff going on in there about, like therapy, like not therapy, because I don't think there's anybody that's a therapist that I know of, because I'm not a member of it. So I don't know if there's a counselor involved or if it's just people that are sharing their stories. But to me, you don't have to see a therapist to, get therapy out of a grieving, I don't know, like talking about grief and talking about these things, I all right, I'm probably going to get it for this one, but that's one of the things that helped me when my dad died was John Edwards. To me, I know a lot of people think he's fake and you're probably going to laugh at me, and I don't even know, I don't know. I love John Edwards, and he helped me. Even I didn't get anything out of like him ever. I mean, I went to see him like 5 times in person. I watched his shows, I've read his books. I was really big into his stuff. And then again, this was like in 22 this was like in 2000. Um, this was like in 2000. So that's how long ago it was. 2001, 2002 when I followed John Edwards. And to me, he wasn't a therapist, but to see how he was connecting with other people's loved ones and stuff like that, it still was kind of therapy for me when I was going through my grief and everything. So that's why I love John Edwards. I still love him because, he was around in my life during a very pivotal time. I didn't even believe in the paranormal at that time. I wasn't in the paranormal at that time. I was kind of like more of an enthusiast. Like I watched stuff here and there, but I didn't really wasn't into it. Let's see. Let me see. So Kenny said true crime documentaries are interesting. I like following, learning which techniques are used to solve the crime. Absolutely. There's a there's a big convention coming up, I think maybe in New York, Kenny. I think it's in New York. And it's like about serial killers, but it's supposed to teach you things, not because I don't like when people are glorified that commit crimes, but when they use it for teaching, like true crime documentaries, when you learn about different things and everything like that, like how Kenny said, um, you know, definitely, and just learning about how the detectives solve the cases and how they use forensics and how they put all this stuff together is just so awesome to me. I don't watch the true crime because I'm into the crime. I'm into how the detectives solved it, or even if they go unsolved. Like there's cold cases out there, like a lot of cold cases. I always said if I ever got back into something, I would want to take up cold cases because I love investigating. I love investigating things, and I think I'm good at it, which I probably am not, but I think I am in my head. So, um, I'm with you with true crime. Hi, Isabel. Craft videos, and I also love cryptid and ghost stories. Yes, 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 yes. Um, Crafting videos are great. Kenny says crafting videos are great. I watch a bunch on making Star Wars props. Yeah. Well, you do a lot with your own, you can build and unbuild. So let's see. I like John Edwards when his show was going. I've backed off a bit though. Yeah, crossing over. So that's when I first saw him. That's when he first ever came into my life was the Crossing Over show. And I remember I was going through a lot of shit when my dad died. So I was like literally looking for anything. And maybe that played a part into why I became so attached, I don't know what word to use, but became enthralled, I guess, with John Edwards. But I also was also struggling with religion at that time, and I didn't have a place. I felt like I needed something to help me through this process because I was drinking and doing, things I should have been doing to try to mask the pain. So I was trying to find other avenues to try to figure out my life and where I was going. So like John Edwards popped up, but I also was like going to church and church and church, and I spoke to a priest about John Edwards because I said, do I believe this? Do I believe that this is actually happening? And he brought up a couple of good points, and I know this is probably going to sound crazy, but a priest saying this, but he sat me down and he was like, look, you know, you know, if he says he can talk to people, if he says he's verbally talking to people, then I wouldn't believe it. Now, this is coming from the Catholic religion, so that doesn't mean that this is, the gospel and it's what anybody else has to believe. This is just what he said to me at the time. That if says that he's talking to these people, then you don't believe it. But, you know, he said, Jesus would go to people through dreams, or give them signs and, send them, signs and this and that. So if he's saying he's like, seeing things that's getting him to a spot where he's connecting with a loved one, then okay, fine. And at that time, that's what John Edwards was doing. So I was like, okay, all right. I can probably get into this, and I did get into it really bad. Um, so Isabel says, I hope I'm saying that right. Is it Isabel or is it as Isabel? And I'm just trying to, I have James Van Prague cards. I think that there is something to the Carl Jung collected subconscious thing, and I find it comforting. See, everybody has their own thing, and I love it. I love it. Um, Doug says Sacramento is the first place they used a profile to catch a serial killer with the vampire of Sacramento. Hmm, never heard of that one. Um, Let me see. Oh, hey Tim. Tim, um, if you can you just type in the comments about your friend, please? And I will direct people to go to you if they want to help out. Tim was going to come on maybe to talk about somebody, a good friend of his. Um, I don't want to say too much because I don't know what can be said or not said. So, Tim, if you want to type in the comments, like give a little bit of something that I can probably share here and have people maybe reach out to you, and that can help out. So, let me know. Um, if you want. But Tim, I hope you're doing good. I love you, brother. You're my brother from another mother. A huge inspiration to me right now. Tim is recovering from stroke, and he does. I mean, he has shared his journey online, and the strength this man has is incredible. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, oh my gosh, all I had was like knee surgery, and I'm like, my inspiration is Tim. He's my inspiration. Um, so Isabel says, I'm good. I was taking a mental health break, but I'm on the mends and feeling a lot better. That's awesome. So happy you're coming back. I know sometimes things can get a little crazy. Um, Yes, I love to investigate. I will say that I don't have any abilities as far as the paranormal goes. I'm not a psychic medium. I don't walk into a building and go, oh my God, I can feel something. I'm more on the investigator side of it. If I hear something, I go try to figure out where it came from or what made that noise. Um, Believe me, in the beginning, I thought everything was paranormal. So I didn't investigate. I just thought I captured a whole bunch of paranormal stuff all the time. Even in my pictures, like pareidolia out the wazoo. I thought every picture I had like a ghost in it or a face in it. It was crazy. Now I look back and I'm like, my God, who did I say this stuff to? And I was like, really tall, I mean, you learn, you grow, you know, and here I am. Ladies Frank Jones says, I got a little sick of murder true crime and started to listen more to scam stuff. The scam stuff is good too, because you're like, how the heck do these people? There's one documentary about that. I'll have to remember. I'll have to send it to you, Joan. Um, like you like But there's even some true crime that are scammers. Like, um, I'll have to send some to you because what these people get away with, even people that are just sick in the head, how they I would have to say that most true crimes start with a scammer, right? They're all scammers. Ted Bundy was a scammer. Wayne Gacy was a scammer. They're all scammers, but I know what you're saying. But they're all scammers. I mean, how do they get these women into their cars? How do they get these kids, into their homes? They have to have a little bit of um, scamming going on to, um, okay, it's Isabel with an E. So sounds so Isabel. So Isabel, am I saying that right? Isabel. I like that. Um, So, Isabel, I hope I'm saying that right. I think there's a line. Belief is one thing and it's personal. Then there are claims to self promote for self interest, and that is a whole other thing. Correct. And I don't agree with that. The self promoting and the self, like, for self gain, and this and that. Um, oh, yes. As Isabel is saying, I watch a lot of bad YouTuber videos like the downfall of so and so. Yeah. YouTube, I do watch a lot of YouTube stuff. And one of my favorite shows, I don't even know if Kenny's still watching, but Four Tortured Souls. Yes, I said four, but he never changed it. It's Three Tortured Souls was one of my favorite shows I love to watch. And they stopped doing their show. So the only way I can spend time with those three men are as if I have them on my show. Because I love listening to the three of them talk. They're very smart men. Kenny Biddle, Dave Schumacher, and Tim Vickers. Love them. And um, very smart and so um, entertaining as well. Like I just love all three of them. And together they're just great. And I miss them. I miss them. Hey Cass, how are you, darling? Have a good sleep. Have a good sleep. Thank you so much for stopping by. Sending you love, girl. Um, but yeah, so I'm all about true crime. And sometimes my husband's like, "Can we watch something else besides people getting murdered or disappeared or blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "But this is so interesting, like." And it's just learning about like watching these people. I used to watch, and I'm so sad the show went off, but I used to watch Homicide Hunter, Joe Kenda, Homicide Hunter. Fantastic show. I love Joe Kenda, and I wish it would come back out. He has all these cases. He was in Colorado, and my husband was stationed in Colorado when all this stuff was going on. I'm like, so when we used to watch it together, I'm like, you never knew Joe Kenda, like you, and he's like, no, Colorado's huge. But yeah, Homicide Hunter was such a good show. I'm tired and still wired from all the noise of laminate being put down in the upstairs apartment for the last 3 days. Oh God. Oh, good night, Cass. Thanks for stopping by, babe. I'm sure I'll see you around. But yeah, uh, joke, the true crime joke. Yeah, Homicide Hunter. Oh, yeah. My. Yeah. So is Isabella saying, I love Homicide Hunter. He's so funny, and his whole life is in that show. I know. It was such a good show. I'm so mad they stopped. He did come out with another show where it was him basically like narrating other detectives like that they talked about their stuff. But I miss Homicide Hunter. Um, but I do love true crime. I love watching true crime docs. I watch that the most. There's a channel on there's a channel on DirecTV if you have DirecTV. It's called oh man, what the hell's the name of that? I don't know why I keep drawing blanks. Ghost Bucka Swab. What's that mean? I don't know what this means. Kristen said Joe Kenda Bucka Swab. I don't know what that means. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then young Joe Kenda. He was a hottie. Um, but I forget what I was saying now, Kristen. Ah. Um, so there's a channel on DirecTV. Oh, Bucka Swab. I never heard him say that. I remember my, and, that was his signature, my, and this, and that, but Bucket Swab, I don't know. I'm sure, I mean, I've watched every single episode times 2 that he's been on, in any show he's been on. Um, and then okay. Bugle Swab. And Isabel saying, oh, and Joe is the first person who pointed out that they stopped using chalk outlines after they started using cameras. That's crazy. Yeah, I remember. Um, it's a really Homicide Hunter is a really fascinating show. Book a swab. I know. Yeah. Hi, Yvette. Yvette's here. But yeah, I've been getting more and more. No, I'm not gonna say that. I've been into true crime. ID on Discovery started it all for me. ID on Discovery used to have these shows that had like who the bleep did I marry? All these funny like sayings for their shows, but they were true crime documentaries. And I got so into it. And then then I started thinking like everybody in the world's crazy. And I got a 37 zone alarm into my house because I'm like, wow, people are really nuts out there. You can only watch so much true crime before you just got to take a break. Um, you said sometimes you got to take a break from it. Joe Kenda, he made Colorado Springs sound so interesting. Well, my husband actually lived in Colorado Springs at that time. And so when we would watch it, I'd be like, "Do you know that place? Do you know that place? Do you remember that place? Do you remember hearing this story? Did you da, da, da?" You know what I mean? And a lot of times he'd say no. But um I'd get excited. I want to go to Colorado. I hear it's beautiful. Um Snapped. Yes. There was a lot of like good shows, and like once ID on Discovery, once I got into that, like I would have that on 24/7. I would just watch it all the time. I was so into it. And then um because I really didn't watch any of the ghost shows on TV. I would watch like Paranormal Caught on Camera a little bit. Um that was good. Haunted Collector and Ghost Hunters. You know what I mean? Like those were like the shows I would watch. I did watch, I don't know when this came out, but I watched like the first season of Ghost Brothers. And after that, I stopped watching them after the first season. I think I don't know if they only had one season, but um, Isabel says, when I see cops and it's Sacramento, I'm like, oh, it's a tweaker on a bike with a light rail hornets. That's funny. Haunting history. Hi, how are you? So what kind of fishing reels are we rocking this summer? Real talk. Oh, did I spell it that way? I didn't have my glasses on. Oh my God. Let me see. Can I edit it while I'm live? Yeeks. Did I really spell it that way? Oh, no, I did not. Oh, thank God. I was like believing you. I was like, oh my gosh, did I really spell it that way? And of course, I'm going to blame the fact that I didn't have my glasses on. Um, Isabel says, I only had one ghost show that I was really obsessed about, The Dead Files. I like some of the others, but that one was like my jam. So don't be mad at me. But the first season I watched, and then she started to get just everything was demonic. And I didn't like how they handled clients. I didn't like how they it felt like they just left them high and dry and like scared out of their minds. You know what I mean? Like I feel like she just got so ridiculous, and I just like it's hard for me to to still follow the show when somebody is just over the top like that. In my opinion, she was over the top. Like I know a lot of people that love that show, and that's fine. To each his own. You know what I mean? But I couldn't get into it. You spelled it. You're fine, huh? I literally thought I spelled it wrong. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't have my glasses on." Yeah, we don't all have to agree. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, Kenny probably doesn't agree with 98% of the stuff that I said in here, and we're still friends. So it's all good. And I respect everybody for what they like. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not a likable thing, or that you can't like it and I'm gonna like hate, not like somebody for because they like something I don't. I mean, we can agree to disagree, and we can. Doesn't even have to go that far. It's what you believe or what you enjoy watching on television. It's television, and that's the one thing that people forget a lot of times. It's TV, so television is going to do whatever they can to make it as entertaining as possible, so that you keep watching. We've been saying this for ever, that if we really put on, and as a matter of fact, I did it. There is a 3 hour live. I did a live investigation. I did a 3 hour live. Oh my gosh, haunting history. Hold on. Hold that thought. But I did a 3 hour live investigation, and I probably had about 10 people watching the whole time. But people don't want to watch that. They don't want to watch the real stuff. And I'm not saying like real, you know what I mean? Like it was like a real investigation. Like there was no editing, there was no like nothing like that. Like there was no fancy things, there was no break in it. It was just a 3 hour thing that I recorded the whole time I was at this place. And people get bored. And I get it. I probably would get bored too, but um uh I loved how the artist drawing varied so much. See, I didn't watch it that much, so I'm not too privy to know everything about Dead Files. But I'm gonna go to Haunting Histories comment here. Hold on. Where did it go? Here it is. Wait, you don't like the many faces of Amy Allen? I'm gonna tell you something. Does anybody remember Momo? The Momo face? That's who Amy Allen reminds me of. I love you, Isabel. Please don't be mad at me for saying that. But if you know who Momo is, that's who I think Amy Allen reminds me of with all her facial expressions. Um, Joan, not everyone has to have the same taste as me, or else. Now sit down and enjoy Real Housewives with me. Okay, now we're talking about this. My trash TV is Love Island. Me and my husband have been watching it for like seven seasons now. And all of a sudden, I think it blew up. Everybody started watching it, but we've been watching it, and it is so trashy. It is so trashy, but I can't stop. I don't know why. That and The Bachelors and The Bachelorettes. I watch those. I do. I do. And there it is. There's my trash TV that I watch. Um, let's just remember it's a bad sign when it's your dream home. Yeah, right. It's funny when I was actually looking for houses. It's cool because I actually have. So I was looking for houses. One house we were walking into, and this couple was walking out, and they were like, "It's haunted," like trying to get us to like not like it because they wanted it. And I go, "Oh, my husband's like, you said that to the wrong person. If it's haunted, she's gonna want it now." Um, so they just started laughing. But I actually, while I was looking for houses, I don't know if I still have it on here. Let me see if I have it on here, and I'll share it. Let me see. I don't know. Um, I don't have it on here. I should have it on here so I can share it. Um, but I don't have it on here. So when you're looking at houses, you get so confused. We were looking at literally 10 houses a day. We were like in like let's hurry up mode. So I just started videotaping the houses as we went through, and we went to this one old Victorian, and my husband was not happy about it. This is my kind of house, not his. 1800s. It had inlet floors, wooden floors, like all the wood was original, woodwork was original. It was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. I would have gotten it, right? The people that owned it were already out, so there was no furniture in the place. They were already living in Florida. They just wanted to get rid of their place. So I'm walking around with my video camera and I'm videoing this place. And I had to go through one door to go up the steps to go upstairs. And as I'm going up the stairs, you hear close either I think it's close the door, shut the door. You either hear a voice say shut the door or close the door. And when I let my realtor listen to it, he was like, "I'm not taking you anywhere anymore. Like, I'm done working with you." Like, he got so freaked out. I was like, "Can you reach out to them and ask them? Like, I'll pay them $200 if they'll let me investigate here one night. Just let me come in and investigate. I'll give 200 bucks. And I'll keep it confidential because sometimes they think like that kind of stuff kind of keeps people away from rent or buying a house. So I was like, I'll keep it confidential. I won't tell anybody. I never heard anything after that. But that was pretty cool. I can't imagine how many other houses that I probably could have gotten stuff at that I didn't. But um haunting history, you can only kick a dead horse for so long when it comes to paranormal shows. That's true. um but there's like this one channel on direct TV. I think it's called the Ghost Channel, to be honest with you, something like that. And all they play is like repeats. Like they have Paranormal Caught on Camera, they have Ghost Brothers, they have um oh gosh, there were so many on there. Haunting, like like a lot of the old Destination Fear, a lot of the old shows are on there. And there were a couple on there that I never heard of, but I agree with you, haunting history for sure. um Isabel, I love you too. She was very expressive. It's all good. She was very expressive. I feel she got kind of dark though. She got really dark there, and I remember trying, to watch it, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. As Isabel says, at some point we have to remember it's entertainment. I love small live chats, and it's entertaining for me. I'm not here to hurt anyone. Absolutely not. I totally respect that. And then Isabel says, when we looked at houses, we were told that one had an unaliving in it, and that didn't bother us. It just turned out that we got another place in a neighborhood that had better market movement. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't there's some places where I think they have to tell you if anything like that's happened, and then in other places they don't, or if it's also rumored to be haunted. There are some places, but um let me see. I only didn't like a show if they antagonized the ghost. Yeah, but you know what though? I feel like that just happens more and more. Like Ghost Adventures does it. Um, you know, I feel like that happens a lot anymore. I just don't watch any of the shows anymore. Um, oh, they had to tell you. Okay. All right, they had to tell you. Yeah, see, I think I'm in Jersey, and I don't think Jersey they have to. I don't think they have to tell us. We can ask, and I don't even know if they're allowed to disclose it or not. But I remember telling my realtor, I'm like, listen, home is where the haunt is. So if you come across a house that it has a history of that, it's like take me to it. I'm in. I want in. I want in. I want to live in a place where it supposedly is haunted, and I want to see what happens. So, um, I don't know. I kind of like, and that kind of goes out the window for me, because my mom passed away in my house, and I haven't really noticed anything happening here, and maybe because it's me, it's my own home, maybe it's familiar. I don't know. But you know, nothing that I know of has ever really. I mean, I've had some strange things that occurred, but nothing that I could 100% rule out as being paranormal or 100% rule out of it not being paranormal. You know what I mean? Like I've had some things happen here that, my house was built, I think, in the 1950s, so it's not that old. But and I and as far as I know, the only death that has occurred in this house was my mother. I don't know of any other deaths that have occurred. My neighbors, people that live in my town, have lived here for generations. So like my dad grew up in this town. My grandmother grew up in this town. I have aunts and uncles that grew up in this town. Like so everybody's been here for generations. So somebody would have told me if something else happened in my house at this point. So I think right now we hold, not that I'm proud of this, but we hold the winning title for deaths in this house. One. California might have a law. Yeah, some states have laws and some states don't. I don't know. And then I think it's different too if it was like a murder versus of a natural death as well. Um, so I don't know. I know I'm not into the real estate business, so I'm not quite sure how that works. But I love places with history. I love um, locations with places that have like real meaty history. Um, so you have West Hill Manor in New Jersey, phenomenal. The woman that lived there was pen pals with Abraham Lincoln, and like the history just keeps going on and on and on. Um, you have White Hill Mansion in Fieldsboro, New Jersey, again built in 1770. Oh, Kyle will be mad at me if I don't remember. It's built in the 1770s. A lot of stuff happened there, as far as, you know, um, important figures in history have been there. And, it's just the more meatier the history is, the better. Of course, there's a lot of places in Gettysburg. Um, and because Gettysburg is hopefully one day where I live. But I just love historical places. Like I'm so for a colonial or a Victorian that just has 200 years of history involved in it, good or bad. Um, Isabel says it was self unaliving. Oh, okay. Sacramento has a lot of stuff. I live 2 blocks from the Dorothy Puente house. I don't know about that house, but I'd love to know about it. White Hill is haunted as, yes, I love White Hill Mansion. Love White Hill Mansion. Um, hey Sage, thanks for joining us. How are you? Um, Thank you, thank you. It's just a chat, a community chat. We've been talking about movies and true crime and you know houses, different types of houses and dwellings being haunted. And you know I just reached out to Ohio State Reformatory. You guys are going to laugh at me because one of my favorite movies is Shawshank Redemption. And I was talking to a friend that just went to the Ohio State Reformatory. And I never knew that they were the same thing until yesterday. I was like, what? I'm like, that's the Shawshank place? Now I want to go there because Shawshank was filmed there. Like now it's just like just the fact. I wouldn't care if anything paranormal happened or not. I just want to go there because I love the movie so much. Um, she was a boarding house murderer. Oh, that's so sad. That makes me so sad for the people that were there. Um, yeah, I'm hearing about this. How many people did she unalive? 9 or 10 people. Wow, that's like a true. I wonder if I could find something true crimey about that. Um, Let me say, great movie. What was a great movie? I missed it. Oh, was there a movie about this Dorothy? Wow, she wasn't Hispanic. She was pretending. Um, she would get their support checks. Ugh. There's so many people in the world that are just insane and how they sleep at night. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find something on it. I've never heard of it. Oh, Shawshank. Yes, Shawshank was a great movie. And that's what I'm saying. I would go to Ohio State Reformatory just because of that, just because of the movie. I would want to just go to see it. It's a 7.5 hour drive for me though. 7.5 hours, but it would be worth. Once she said it's where Shawshank was filmed, I was like, I'm in. I was like, yeah, me sold. Um, she is a total true crime subject. Yeah, I'm gonna look into this. Um, so let me see. I already forgot her. Dorothy Puente. I hope I'm saying that right. The Dorothea Puente house. I'll have to try to remember that in my ADHD brain. Um, wow. It's already been an hour. I can't believe I actually talked this long. I didn't even know what I was going to talk about. But you guys were here, so thank you so much. um, Again, in 2 weeks, the 29th, I will have Adam Kimmel on talking about his all the exciting stuff he's got. He's a location owner. He owns a couple of locations. Um, and okay, Kristen said she'll tell me in chat. Thank you, Kristen. Sacramento. Okay, it's in downtown Sacramento. Um, there is a lovely plaque about the victims at the house, and they have a mannequin of her on the porch. Ugh. And that's the thing. Like a picture probably would be good enough. Like, why do they have to have a mannequin? You know, um, like there's some things like I don't even. There's some things like I don't even. I don't agree with, and um, like so. I'm just gonna say this. Anybody take about like Arnie Johnson. First of all, Arnie Johnson. If anybody's not familiar with Arnie Johnson, um, he was a part of the Warrens case. I can't remember which. I get confused with all the movies. Might have been. No, I can't remember which movie. If it even it might not even have been a movie. There's a movie called The Devil Made Me Do It. I think that it's about him. But the Warrens tried to take this into court and say that he was possessed by something, and that's why he killed someone. And now he goes to these paracons and gets paid money to be at these paracons. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Um, I don't think that that's right. Devil made me do it. Yes. I don't think that that kind of stuff is right. Thanks for inviting us into your lovely home. I forgot to host this gift. You are the gift, Joni. You are the gift. um, the devil made me do it was the case. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's right that he's being paid money to go and, be at these paracons and stuff like that. And people are taking pictures with him. I'm like, the dude is a murderer. He murdered somebody. And I don't understand how people overlook that. And you wouldn't just go hang out with, you know, Taylor Parker who killed that chick. And I mean, even Mackenzie Shirilla is starting to say that an unseen force pushed her leg down on the gas pedal. The devil made her do it. She said that. She said that an unseen force pushed her. That's going to be everybody's excuse. This is what I'm saying. Like that's what everybody's going to start saying now. Oh, something made me do it. Something, luckily, um, the paranormal in this case hasn't been proven because people would be able to use this in court, and luckily they can't. Um, Arnie was never, I'm assuming you mean Arnie, he was never exorcised. Well, they say it happened over the phone, which isn't how it works. No, it doesn't work that way. Isabel says, I have a cousin who was killed by a serial killer 1 year. Oh my God, the year I was born. And well-known one in 1977. I'll talk about it about her, but not the killer. Yeah, I agree. Even when I did my show with Stevie a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the Mackenzie Shirley case, I put in there, I said, I gave recognition to Dom and Davion, the two that were murdered by her, not her. I had to say her name at some point, but I always say it's, oh my God, I don't know where these yawns are coming from. But I always say it's the Dom and the Davion case. I try not to give too much attention to Mackenzie. She's insane. He's probably signing photos too. Yes, he does. He does do that, and he walks around. He takes pictures with all the pretty girls. You know how that is. I ignored him when I saw him. I was at the first Warren's Paracon. We went because we had free tickets, and we saw some of the haunted items. I hated seeing the Warren stuff on display, like they were items that JFK, like how they displayed JFK items or Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe items. Like they had like their typewriter and they had their Bible and they had one of Ed's suits on display, and it's just like, come on, like like that would be cool if it was Frank Sinatra's suit, or that would be cool if it was, but you know, it's just crazy how they're just exploiting everything, and really they're just destroying whatever legacy they had left. They're just destroying it. It's a shame. Um, the unseen force is her poor frontal lobe activity and lack of empathy. Yeah, and I think that's for all people, like serial killers, or people that do stuff like that. Isabel says we talk about them to discuss the behavior, but it shouldn't be about the bad actors. It should be about honoring victims and preventing further traffic events. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Absolutely. Well, folks, it's about that time. As you can see, I'm tired. It's been a long one. So hopefully, I'll be on next week. I might have a guest, I might not. It might be me again. And I'm going to come up with a topic to talk about, and so that I'm not just on here, just, rambling away or rambling my life away. Oh, 100% Sage. 100%. It's sickening. And there's people out there so Sage says it's all about the money and the greed, and that's what it is. And it's just sad that there's people that don't see that and still give money. Like I got blocked by Elton because he was buying Raggedy Ann dolls for probably like $7, $7 to $10. I'll even give 20. Let's just say they were $20. And saying that they were being held inside the Warren home in the haunted museum, and for 30 days, and then Matt Rife is going to sign them, and I don't know who else. It comes with a certificate of authenticity, which I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that. Whatever. And then reselling them for $200. $200. That's great. So I confronted, like, I said something about it, and then he tried telling me that the money that he makes goes to charity. He's done 600,000 in charity. I said, "Really? Where? To what charities? Where's show where you what charities you've donated to?" And he blocked me. Still don't have an answer. Um, yes, welcome back, Isabel. I'm glad that you're feeling better and you're getting back into, coming around. You know that Paranormal Brew is always a safe place. So, you're always welcome. Always welcome. Good night, Chris. So Isabel says, I make rag dolls and they don't cost that much to make, even if you make them yourself. I know it's ridiculous. $200. I'm like, this guy is out of his mind. It's just all about the money. All about the money. That's all it is. And those items, that are going to Salem, um, there's a video of Lorraine saying that she wants those items. After her death, she want her death wish would be that those items go to the Vatican. Whether they're real or not real, that's what she wanted. They're not doing anything that Ed and Lorraine wanted, and they know it. So I don't care if they hate me, but it's true. That's why they hate me. That's why they hate Stevie does the best. If you guys get a chance, please go check out Truth or Demons podcast. She is like she has like a master's degree in um, journalism as when it comes to the Warrens. So I suggest going to check her channel out. She's phenomenal with all the research that she has done. It's great. You have to check it out. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. I really thank you so much for being here. And next week I'll be on. I'll figure out a topic to talk about. And hopefully I'll see you guys here. Until then, sweet dreams. Love y'all.